Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the finals of the FIBA Under-19 World Championships of Basketball. We are in Chekhov, Russia, a city named for a Russian playwright, and tonight we bring you true sporting drama on the world stage of basketball. Tonight, in the city some 40 kilometers south of Moscow, the American teenagers will look to defend the title they won 2 years ago in Lithuania by squaring off against a talented Russian team playing on their home court. Well, the past decade has been a contrast of fortunes for these two nations with illustrious basketball pedigrees. As you can see, if you were with us earlier today, Australia beat Spain in the bronze medal game, a rematch of last year's or 2 years ago's bronze medal. But for Russia and the USA, with their fantastic basketball traditions, the last decade has been very different indeed. Since these World Championships adopted their biennial format in 2005, the Americans have rattled off 5 consecutive gold medals, posting a 42-2 record along the way. For the Russians, by contrast, they've not been in the finals since 2005. But this is a new generation, an extremely talented generation of Russian players, with MVP candidate Maria Vadeeva and Daria Polovskaya, the European Champions MVP from 2014. My name is Liam Canny. I'm joined in the commentary booth by my colleague Mick Bett. Mick, I think we've been waiting with great anticipation for what we hope will be a fantastic final between these two teams.
Well, hold on to your hats. Thank you, Liam. This is going to be one cracker of a game. And, you know, you and I have seen many junior finals under 17s, 19s over the past 3 or 4 years. But I think this matchup, as far as USA versus Russia, the connotations it brings, the memories, it goes all the way back to 68, doesn't it, the Olympic final? 72, excuse me, yeah. And you cannot ask for a better matchup. Every time these two teams have met, the memory banks have gone back to that one game. And I can't ask you, Russia are perfectly poised to take this title away from the US. 5 games in a row, 5 times in a row they're champions, going for their 6th time in a row. It's going to be a phenomenal game. Listen to the noise, unbelievable.
Just to set the scene for you, we are here in an arena, and as Mick, you and I look around, there aren't too many empty seats in this arena, which seats about 2,000. In fact, some of the soldiers have been pressed in. They're here to our right just to get behind the young ladies, and you can just hear the din of noise that's resounding in this arena. Mick, it'll be a very, very difficult atmosphere for the American girls to try and cope with the pressure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think that's one thing that the coaching staff were talking about yesterday, to both of us, the added 6th man in the crowd, the noise, the atmosphere, as loud as it's been in this whole tournament. We've never seen this many people in here before. It's going to be interesting, there's no doubt about it. And the USA are going to have to play smart, intelligent basketball and play to their strengths.
Teams have taken their position on the floor. We will rise to our feet and honor the national anthems of today's two nations.
Дамы и господа, звучит национальный гимн Российской Федерации.
to the audience here who observed both of these national anthems impeccably with great sporting grace. The players will meet now at mid-court. They'll exchange a token of the game, put it in their keepsake treasure chest, and mark the day that they squared off, representing their countries here in the finals of these under-19 World Championships. Mick's already gone to my colleague to the 1972 games. Any young viewers out there, the Olympics in 1972, the Soviet Union beat the Americans, the first time the Americans ever lost in an Olympics. And so bitter with the Americans, Mick, that generation of players refused to claim their silver medals. It was a controversial finish to that game, but this is a new generation of players. And we're looking forward to some matchups across the floor as you get a look at the combined officiating group from Spain, Dominican Republic, and Argentina. Mick, it's just mouth-watering matchups throughout the starting fives. You know, you start in the interior, you've got A'ja Wilson for the Americans, the Naismith High School Player of the Year. She was on this team in 2013 when the Americans won the gold. And she'll square up against a talented Russian player, Maria Vadieva, who was the under-16 European Champions MVP and played with the senior women, the Russians, at Eurobasket in 2015. Here's the lineup for the USA. Mick, maybe just a word on that interior matchup between Wilson and Vadieva.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see whether they actually do guard each other, because there's nothing to say that you couldn't throw another player on each other player defensively so as to not to waste fouls, because there's no doubt about it, Wilson and Vadieva are the two focal points for offensively both teams. I mean, Nafisa Collier had 20 yesterday, Azura Stevens along with Wilson. That is a big 3-4-5 on any team. And look at the Russian team there. Watch out for number 9, Ksenia Levchenko, the point guard for Russia. She will have her work cut out against this 1-2-2 half-court press. The United States have swamped every other team in this tournament with. If Levchenko handles the press and doesn't turn the ball over in silly places, and this team has a chance of surviving. Tatiana Sioma will be the bodyguard for Maria Vadieva. Vadieva's just turned 17. She will be eligible in 2 years' time, but make no mistake, she will not be playing this tournament in 2 years' time. She is already a fully fledged senior international, having played Eurobasket, second top scorer on the Russian women's national team in June and July in Poland and Hungary. That is a player for the future, a superstar in the waiting.
Both of these teams have got talented benches. The Americans go very deep on their bench. Coach Don Staley will run players in and out. And similarly, the Russians have got Raisa Musina coming off the bench. You look at three-time Olympic gold medal winner there, Don Staley at the helm of the American team. For the Russians, Musina has 4 double-doubles. She has more double-doubles than Maria Vadieva. So coming off the bench, the Russians have their own firepower as well.
Number 5,
It'll be the Americans in the blue uniforms. You can see Dmitry Donskov, the coach of the Russians, in their white uniforms. Just if you haven't had a chance to see any play in this tournament yet, the Americans, as my colleague Mick said, have come out in every game and shown a 1-2-2 half-court trap. So the decision-making of Ksenia Levchenko will be critical for the Russians to enjoy success. Typically, it is Azura Stevens who's at the top of the press, number 8 for the Americans. So we will see how that develops. Both of these teams come into today's game with a perfect 6-0 record and had comfortable wins throughout. The margin of victory for the Americans has been 38 points, for the Russians has been 34 points. And just to add to the ceremony of the occasion, we're looking at the Americans, who are the America's region champion from 2014 in Colorado. And the Russians are here by nature of the fact that not only are they the hosts, Mick, but they won the European Championship gold medal back in the summer of 2014 as well. So 2 champions here going at each other. So the referee will step into the center circle. We're seconds away from tipping it off in the gold medal match of the 11th edition of the FIBA Under-19 World Championships. I think the referees are just asking for the music to turn off. Just like referees spoil everyone's fun. First possession in the hands of Gabby Ortiz, the point guard for the Americans, and she will get them into their first offense. Here's Wilson, gets an early touch. She'll move it on to Collier, who powers it up, it won't drop. Collier gets her own rebound. That shot blocked by Sioma. Wilson pulls the trigger and a velvet touch from number 14.
Yeah, nice touch indeed. A'ja Wilson just showing the the variety of skills she has. And look, Vadieva back to break the press. That's impressive too. The off guard to help Levchenko out to break that press.
The Americans settle into some 2-3 zone coming out of the press. Levchenko moves it on to Solskjaer. She can shoot it. And Solskjaer knocks down the first three.
And look down at Coach Staley. She's very upset with the rotation in that zone. Not happy they didn't come out and show it. They're a 3-point shooting team, the Russia. To come out in the zone is very bold.
There's a pass to the wing. Collier looks inside. Stevens gets a little screen. Pass into Stevens, who powers it up. It's off the mark. And the Russians on the break. It's a 3-on-2. Kuplinova fans out to the wing and kicks it back to Levchenko. Gets it back. Kuplinova time to line up her three. It's off the mark. In the first contest between Vadieva and Wilson, Wilson wins it.
I tell you what, Liv, I can only think that Coach Staley is very frightened of a one-on-one matchup defensively, but I cannot believe that's true.
Here's a 2-on-1. Vadieva misses the chippy one. Back come the Americans. It's turned over. It's a frenetic pace from both teams early on here as the teams try and settle into the game and settle their nerves.
Well, I'll be very intrigued to know why Coach Staley's in the zone to begin this game. It's definitely, we haven't seen it all tournament.
There's a three from Levchenko on the way. That draws iron.
But you know
Wilson
what?
rises for her rebound.
2 threes have gone begging. Maybe it was the right choice.
The Russians just 1 for 3 from behind the arc early on. Ortiz to Collier. Moves it on to Moore. Moore just spilled it. Shot clock at 5. Stevens gonna have to deal. Ortiz lets fly. Her three's on the way. That's no good. We've got bodies on the floor already. Vadieva on the deck. Got a foul against the Americans. It is on.
More. Yeah. One thing is for certain, Liam, that these two teams can rebound, therefore they can both box out, and there's a huge mountain stopping both teams getting to the offensive board. That might be a huge key.
Well, here's the 1-2-2 trap from the Americans. Stevens at the point of it with her length. They stay in that 1-2-2 shape. And the pass intercepted inside. Wilson snaps a pass ahead to Stevens, who catches and finishes. Mick, that's no easy task for a long player like Stevens.
Yeah, she's very assured. Took her time, made sure. These rims, we've seen them, are very loose. Tough to get a nice roll on them.
Vadieva flashes to the middle and dissipates the pressure. Polovskaya has made one from there. Count it, number 2! Polovskaya, 2 for 2 from behind the rainbow.
And Aja Wilson wasn't happy. Looked straight over to the bench to see if that was what she was supposed to be doing, closing out that far out.
Ortiz rides the high screen. Wilson has to come away from the basket to get it. Here's Stevens. Stevens lets fly, and she shows a nice touch.
Yeah, she's got all the ability of Zura Stevens. Can shoot it, can dribble it, got length. It's those passes against the press the United States will not be unhappy to see.
Levchenko baseline jump shot, no good. Kept alive by Sioma. Americans trying to figure out their own defense. And Polovskaya penetrates to the basket.
Well, Polovskaya has already hit the back-to-back trays and then decides just to drive on the hoop. And Stevens picks up her first foul. She has all 6 of Russia's points and a chance to get the next 2.
This is Daria Polovskaya, as I mentioned in my opening comments. She was the MVP of the Under-18 European Championships last summer. Goes 1 for 2 from the line. Vadieva with her first offensive rebound, kicks. This time Polovskaya throws it right back inside. Vadieva lost it. Wilson picked it up. She lost it. Polovskaya is going to spot up from the elbow. That's good. Make both teams a little bit nervous. Losing the handle.
She has all 9 points, Polovskaya. Unbelievable. Look at that scoreline. Nobody else is on the board.
Collier gets swallowed up by white jerseys. The pass from Ortiz just a little bit too far in front of Collier to lead her to the basket.
I'm going to give you another. The temperature in this gym has changed. Since the end of the bronze medal game to this game, I'm feeling hotter. I don't know whether the air conditioning's been turned off, making it a little more heated in here.
The Russians have yet to turn it over against the press. They're passing over the top of the zone. Kolovskaya again, if she makes it. Ortiz with the long rebound. Stevens. I'm so impressed with her athleticism, Mick. I thought Ortiz gave it to her too early. She didn't establish post position, but Stevens got it and laid it in.
Actually, poor defense really gambling for the ball. And that's where the Russia have to be very careful against this press.
Vadieva in the high post. Her pass intended for Sioma off the mark. And a turnover.
No, you can't deal with the pressure until you feel the pressure. And that's exactly what Russia had to sit through watching the USA put this press on through the tournament. Now they're experiencing it. Now you see little chinks. But they need to settle down. They'll be fine. And as for the USA, they'll just keep firing inside. At some point, Russia will go to zone.
Ortiz not even looking to score, trying to get the big players involved. Here's Wilson on her right hand, and Vadieva strips her. Outlet to Levchenko.
That's a block and steal.
We saw that against the Australians yesterday, Mick. Vadieva has those strong hands. She's a proclivity to rip the ball out of her opponent's hands. Now she posts up, goes at Wilson, and scores.
Yeah, that's the matchup they don't want. That's the one-on-one that's tough to get to. She's such a soft-touch player. You know, I said last night in the restaurant, best player in the world for her age, and maybe Asia Wilson might have something to say about that, and maybe that young lady too.
So might Zore Stevens, the young lady who was with Duke when they went to the Sweet 16 of the NCAAs this year. Azure at the top of that press now.
She only hit 3 threes into this game, coming into this game. She's hit 2 already.
Vadieva moves it on to Sioma. She's fouled from behind by Ortiz. Unselfish play by Maria Vadieva.
Yeah, that's right. Some Musina just come in the game for Sioma there. Number 4 has got that pass from Vadieva.
Well, we've got our first timeout here from Chekhov, Russia in this final match. The gold medal game of the 11th edition of the FIBA Under-19 World Championships. So it's 12-11. Americans with a slender lead. Russians come back and they'll go to the line when we break this timeout. Nick, we're not surprised at all by the fact that the Americans have come in at 1-2-2. They've been doing it the whole tournament. Your thoughts on how Russia are attacking it?
Yeah, it's. I think they look a little tentative, and that does, I think, vote in the favor of the US because they'll just keep going with it, and they'll, even if they get 4, 6, 8 points off it through the game, it's 8 points you wouldn't have got sitting back in a half-court man. So all credit to them, because I don't think Russia really found the key to finding layups, which is what you want to do if you're going to get a team to break off a press. So I would be more than heartened to see Levchenko and Kolosovskaya just causing a few murmurs in terms of breaking that press right now. It goes back to what I said, you can't deal with pressure until you've felt it to begin with.
This is Raisa Musina at the free throw line. She knocks down the first free throw. Last summer, Musina in the under-16 European Championships in Hungary was an all-tournament selection, and she comes off the bench, provides quality minutes for the Russians. Beautiful touch from the line.
Well, you said before, double-double merchant, 4 in the tournament, and she may hold the key for Russia in terms of whether they turn this one up, gold or silver.
Of course, you've got Maiga to come as well for the Russians, another post player. Here's Dangerfield in the game for the Americans. Wilson trying to find space. Dangerfield stops and pops. That's no good. Wilson with the rebound. Can she score? She can't convert. Gets it again. This time she powers it up and in.
Yeah, just a tough competitor as Asia Wilson. You know, the first shot was bothered by Vadieva. She made sure she was going to make that second one, though.
Levchenko now in the trap. That pass is, well, fortuitous that it ends up in the hands of Kolovskaya, who moves it on to Musina. And that's what you talked about, Nick, attacking the back of the press, trying to get layups.
And unfortunately for the States, you know, they're going to have a lot of opportunities where Russia are going to break the press, they're going to look to attack, and when you go to block that shot, yeah, it may be a block shot. That looked very clean to me. But the referees are under pressure themselves, and all of a sudden Asia Wilson's got her first foul of the game. She can ill afford to get into foul trouble.
Well, just looking up at the scoreboard to our right, the Americans with 14 fouls, the Russians yet to foul. We've seen a three from the line. So composed. She remains perfect. So Shatrice White, I beg your pardon, is going to come in for Stevens. She's earned her break, has Azare Stevens. Dangerfield gets it across the midcourt stripe for the Americans. Looks eyeball to eyeball with Levchenko. Oh, Wilson was open on a curl cut, didn't get it. Now in the low post. Faces, that's off the mark.
That's not a bad matchup for USA to get into. They want to go at Vadieva as much as they, all the way around at Wilson. Maybe Wilson needs to keep driving.
Levchenko guarded by Moore. Americans in man-to-man. They scramble for their matchups. Strong drive by Messina and an accomplished finish with the left hand.
Yeah, that's just a very, very tough move. Off a left hand, soft touch off these rims with pressure.
Dangerfield dispossessed by Levchenko. Picked her pocket clean. It's a 3-on-2 for the Russians. Vadieva travels.
My goodness. Double crossover from Levchenko on Dangerfield. You know what? That was not a travel either. That was just a, what's this? There's a step, there's a jump stop there, and she gets fouled.
Well, Levchenko with a terrific steal. Moore. Collier feathers it pass down to Wilson, and she's fouled by Messina.
Great help from Messina. Saw the problem, saw that love pass coming to Wilson. And look at it, she comes flying over with her hands up. It's definitely a foul as Wilson catches, she gets bundled over.
But you love to see Messina rotate from that help side to help her teammates.
Game on. Great coaching, great understanding of the game.
Inside to Collier, who finishes off a good back screen by White.
Beautiful screen from White, wasn't it? Solid, just hit the defense hard.
Americans soft on the 1-2-2 this time.
Well, you know what you'll do? You'll lose confidence if you're not careful when you give up layups. And look, the players are turning around to Coach Staley. What's going on? That's not a good sign at all. You've got to pick up man-to-man out of a press. Full stop.
That's exactly my point. The Americans don't know what defense to go to once the ball gets across half court. Pass intended for White, and it's knocked out of bounds.
Elizaveta Klimova's in the game, 15 for Russia. Always makes me laugh with all the stylish uniforms that come in the game today. And I'm looking at the Russian numbers. They look like somebody's drawn them on with a Sharpie pen.
Joselina Maiga comes in, the number 13 for Russia. Jump shot off the mark by Moore.
Well, somebody wanted it more than that, more there.
It's Krimova who came up with it, and now Levchenko directs traffic for the Russians. Uses the ball screen of Maiga. Krimova lets fly with a shot from distance. That's no good. Wilson with the rebound. She's guarded by two people. Can the Americans break? Dangerfield in the open court. Bounce pass to Collier, and she finishes.
That's a nice work. Nafisa Collier, that's her fourth point of the game. She was inspirational in the semi-final last night. This is the easy pass against the press that he's got to make.
And Wilson might have got away with a foul, but it's last touch by a white jersey. So the Americans get it on the turnover. Dangerfield looks to Staley for the offense. It is hard to hear in this arena with the din of noise. All the noisemakers. Great atmosphere. Wilson on the low blocks. That's a hard pass to feather in. White comes up with it. And Dangerfield, Mick, just trying to put that ball right on the dinner plate when Wilson's surrounded by three white jerseys.
Well, Maiga went to front Wilson straight away, therefore he makes that pass much harder. And of course, you can't see what's coming from the weak side. I think Shatrice White gets away with a cheap one here.
White got the shooter's roll on the first free throw, plays her basketball at the University of Illinois.
Only averages 14 minutes a game, 2 for 3 on the line from the whole tournament, but she's more of a role player.
the first time she's worn the USA jersey. McDonald's All-American misses the second. Levchenko, guarded by Moore. It's a strange matchup. The Americans scramble to try and get their matchups. Polovskaya goes in. She has 11. The Americans are a mess in their half-court defense.
Yeah, it just, I'm not sure. There's a double team on a pass on the wing. It's very, very, the rotations aren't great. It's definitely new for them in this game.
Closing seconds of this first quarter. Wilson off the mark. White trying to take out the trash. She can't come up with it. And last touch by a blue jersey. The Russians love the last possession.
Great move from Aja Wilson. She's going to come out. Stevens comes in. But, you know, it was beautiful defense from Maiga too. Shatrice White missed an opportunity there. 1-2-2 press again for the States.
Just a couple seconds left. So I beg your pardon. Kolovskaya is going to let it out. At the end of one quarter of play, the hosts lead the defending champions. It's Russia 21, the USA 19 in the FIBA Under-19 World Championships in basketball. We'll take a look at some statistics here just to see the story of the game.
You can see Russia's numbers, 5 of 7 inside the arc. You look at the number of shots taken. USA have taken 20 shots combined. Russia only 13 shots combined. I think might see a few more turnovers against Russia, but they still lead by 2. Rebounding is always going to be even, I think, in this game. I don't think it's going to be too much of a factor. 5 offensive rebounds for the United States. And turnovers 5-4 in favor of Russia. Wasn't as bad as I thought.
Look at that, Nick. Steals, the Americans who've been pressing throughout, only 2 steals, and the Russians have got 4 steals. So you don't necessarily have to show pressure to apply pressure. You understand my meaning. Nick, philosophically, the Americans have said throughout this whole tournament, we are going to half-court trap you 1-2-2. Do they come out of that mindset here, or they stay in it?
Well, you only come out if it's hurting you, don't you? And my only question mark is here is that's not hurting them. What's hurting them is from foul line down below, because I'm not sure what defense they're in. It seems like they're in a zone, but the responsibility is in that zone towards where the ball is, and it's just not quite. I'm not sure. We'll wait and see. Hopefully they'll come out and just play man-to-man. But that may leave this matchup that I think, I'm suspecting the field they're afraid of. Vadieva, 1-on-1 in the low post.
Just to talk a little bit about that, oftentimes teams, when they show some extended pressure, be it three-quarter court as the Americans are, full court, it's often easier just to come back into a zone. Your defensive assignments are just easy. You don't have to scramble and match up.
But if it was just a zone, it wouldn't. I don't think it'd be so much of a problem. But look at the scoreboard: 19 points out of 2 players who aren't their best player, Rusina and Kolosovskaya.
And I think you're right. If it is just a zone, it's easy. But the Americans, sometimes they're in 2 minds. Are they in man? Are they in zone? We'll see if the coaching staff have sorted it out for the Americans. It's their possession as we begin the second quarter of play. The Americans come out with Dangerfield, Stevens, Moore, White, and Collier. Collier with the ball now. Stevens hangs on to the pass just. Dangerfield now with the shot clock at 5. Going to have to make something happen. A little hesitation, dribble out the window, no good. White can't power it up. And we have a 24-second shot clock violation as the ball did not strike the rim.
Tough work from Shatrice White there. Got in and did the dirty work. Just couldn't quite get the ball up after she caught it. She may feel she was a bit of contact there from Vadieva, but nothing doing for the referees.
Vadieva says, welcome to Russia.
Well, that's how you beat the press. You put your tallest player in the middle and match her up with the smallest player for the United States.
Vadieva stands 1'94", about 6'5". Stevens comes up with a loose ball. Dangerfield in the open court. Crossover, goes at Levchenko. Can't finish. And back come the Russians. Levchenko goes to the Jets. Levchenko. Oh, somehow. Oh, I thought she was going to finish. Vadieva with the rebound. She can't finish. Second effort. She draws the foul.
Crazy little section of play there. That almost little circus shot from Levchenko. She just lost control at the last minute.
You love this from your big players, though, Mick. They follow the guards and, hope for that miss. One thing Vadieva does very well, she gets the rebound. She just doesn't bring it down, does she? Keeps it high, takes it right back up.
She's shooting about just over 50% for the tournament. She's got a weakness. The free throw line is, this tournament has been it.
Vadeeva goes 1 for 2.
Well, there's your rotation. Shatrice White will come in intermittently to give Wilson a break. Give Collier a break, possibly Stevens as well.
Wilson, bounce pass inside to Stevens. He's trying to find space. Messina comes up with the stop.
Good footwork, just got too buried under the basket.
Bounce pass inside to Vadeeva, a little drop step and spin. There's Wilson, how you like that?
Oh, watch out.
Wilson lost concentration and turns it right over.
I don't know who she was passing to. It wasn't Dangerfield.
Kremova knocks down a 3, and Coach Staley wants a timeout. The Russians have got the largest lead of the game. They lead by 8. The Americans find themselves in a deficit. It's an unusual position for them.
That was the bizarrest thing I've seen. An inbound pass from AJ Wilson, just lobbed up in the air. It had to be to Dangerfield, but it was way off. Dangerfield just stood and looked at it. Nafisa Collier was halfway down the floor, therefore Levchenko just stole in. But go back to that post move from Vadeeva, and it was just dancing on ice. It was very nimble footwork, and combined with the soft hands, he's a tough prospect.
Just looking up at the distribution of points now, it's Kolosovskaya with 11 for the Russians, Messina with 8, and Vadeeva with 5. The Americans, Azare Stevens with 10, Wilson with 4, and Collier with 4. Still plenty of time left in this, but Mick, just think about the mental side of this now for the Americans. You know, this is a position they're not used to being in, playing from behind. What's the mindset for them now?
Yeah, they just keep playing. They just got to keep playing. I mean, I'll go back to the atmosphere, and it's changed. There's a big crowd in here. The temperature's probably 8-9 degrees higher than it was for any game in this tournament. Somebody turned off the AC. This is going to get nice, hot and steamy in here.
Well, Dangerfield gets it across half court for the USA. A block-to-block screen for Wilson. She finishes, and that's an excellent offensive timeout. The Americans come out and execute something and get exactly what they want.
Yeah, the boys under 19 team run a very, very similar offense. They just run that baseline screen. Wide open.
Great hustle from Collier. She steals it. Dangerfield. Just great anticipation from Nafisa Collier. Came from the backside of the zone press.
Yeah, Kolosovskaya getting a pasting from Coach Donskov there. Poor pass. And plenty of time, plenty of opportunity to get that pass fired in.
The Russians stay in their man-to-man defense. Dangerfield gets by Levchenko. Her floater in and out. Tipped up by Wilson. She can't hang on to it. Vadeeva does. Kremova has to get it across the timeline, and the Americans who are watching us, it's 8 seconds in the backcourt according to FIBA rules. Of course, it's a 24-second shot clock. Messina takes a look at a 3. That's off the mark.
AJ Wilson's wide open down the floor. They can't find her.
Moore, a terrific diagonal pass. Great vision, and Stevens lays it up and in.
Yeah, that's poor transition defense for the Russians. Never got back, never even looked interested in getting back. Good recovery from the United States.
Kremova drops it to Messina. Her shot's no good. Messina gets the rebound. That's no good. Azare Stevens comes up with a long rebound. She puts it on the floor. Azare Stevens goes by Levchenko. She's going to go coast to coast. She misses the first one. Shovels it to Wilson, who lays it up and in. Well, Stevens with a crossover dribble against Levchenko.
And Donskov calls timeout because you know why? Because you had Russian players at half court watching American players rebounding offensively down the other end. And the power of the USA comes back, and we've got an 8-point lead, got to 2 now.
So great timeout by Coach Staley. Got her team to regroup, and now it's a defensive timeout for the Americans. We're looking inside the Russian timeout. So look at some numbers. It's Kolosovskaya with 11, and Vadeeva with 7 rebounds. Look at that, Levchenko with 4 assists and 3 steals. So good numbers. We knew there'd be a mouth-watering matchup with the interior players, but of course the guard play here is so important. How the Russian guards are going to cope with the press. And Levchenko with 3 assists has played well so far.
That hasn't really been a factor, I don't think. What I've noticed right now is the United States have gone back man-to-man. Therefore, Russia now will isolate Vadeeva low post. I don't think that's probably why Donskov wants to call this timeout, because of that this transitional play, 6-0 runs into the last timeout. At no point has any of the guards spotted there's a man-to-man. We need to isolate our best player in some sort of positions where she could score.
Going back to 1993, the breakup of the Soviet Union, these teams have met in this competition 6 times. The Russians have never won it. The Americans trying to win their 6th consecutive gold medal. The Russians trying to secure an upset. Into the high post of Vadeeva. She kicks it out. That 3 is on the way, and it's up and good.
Back-to-back threes for Klimova. And she can shoot it. You don't want to leave her open, and I'm not sure why you leave her open. It's that high post pass kills the United States zone. Here's the first sign of zone for the Russia, which is what we expected last night.
Destiny Slocum in the game for the first time for the Americans, looking for an entry pass, can't find one.
Well, they haven't got a shooter on the wing, and I'm not sure what's going on. They got Slocum's on one side, opposite side to where the 4 other players were.
So the Americans out of sync offensively. They're slow to get into their trap. And Collier almost got a steal.
I don't think Levchenko realizes this. The United States have really just lost a little confidence in their trap. They're going to go back man-to-man here. And Vadeeva's being guarded by Stevens. That'll be an interesting matchup. Here's the high-low they're trying to get to.
Sioma with a 3. That's off the mark. Collier with the rebound. Slocum comes back to get the outlet. Americans will try and unlock this 2-3 zone. Americans in their semi-final win were 0 for 10 from behind the 3-point line. So, Mick, we thought we were going to see some stage tonight. Here it is. Stevens with the miss.
Well, he's already 2 for 2 from the 3-point line.
Collier's jump shot. Mid-range jumper's good.
Step inside the 3-point in that comfort zone for her.
Stevens, the point of that press. Klimova turns it over. Stevens runs the lane and scores and gets in that one. Well, Stevens finishes the play on the turnover. It's a hard pass for her to get, and I've been impressed, Mick, with Stevens' mobility, her soft hands. She catches difficult passes, and there she converts.
I don't think the Russians realize that if you just got somebody just to dribble into the gaps of this press and get it to somebody ahead of you. Klimova tried there, but she wasn't very adept at dribbling.
Stevens leaves the N1 on the table. The Americans get the rebound, and they have a chance now to get their noses in front. They trail by 1. Wilson, she's sandwiched between Sioma and Vadeeva. Just a difficult pass for her to catch, no space.
9 offensive rebounds for the US now. That's going to be a telling factor as this game wears on. Now, Levchenko's just got to really just go at this zone.
USA had 27 offensive rebounds in their semifinal win against Spain. Kolosovskaya strikes the iron, and Wilson had it momentarily. Collier comes up with it. There's Slocum. That's just too hard to pass. And Nick, the guard play of the Americans has been less than good, shall we say?
Yeah, I know George, she's doing Slocum. She's got to get one side of the middle or the other. You don't get down the middle and all of a sudden the passes have become 2 acute angles. See, there you go. It's that easy.
Vadeeva kicks to the corner. Ogun in for the first time. Levchenko goes to their teardrop shot.
And I think it's that easy. You've got to just get dribbling into that lane and be bold and be brave, and it will open up.
So the Russians stay in their even front 2-3 zone.
Now USA have got to get somebody in that high post. Somebody's got to occupy that high post. That's a good look pass.
A back screen for Wilson. Morris hit the back screen on the back of the zone.
It's usually for Wilson, but it was a bullet-like pass.
Yeah, it's good execution, isn't it?
Well, the only thing I'd say is that, in all fairness, it's probably gone for about 2 or 3 sets of hands. Therefore, if it might be easy to pick off. You've got to get at least a little bit of height and altitude on that pass.
Well, here's Asia Wilson at the line. She's having a terrific tournament, averages 16 points a game, close to 9 rebounds. The noise she missed.
Looking through the record books yesterday, 24 points from Collier was one of the top 10 scores in this tournament over the years. But players will find it very difficult now to get the top points scored in the tournament because they're playing less games now. 158 is the top points production, and I think Wilson's just broken 100 now in this game here.
The 7th game for both of these teams. Americans in man-to-man defense. Slocum slides through a screen and walls up against Levchenko. Ogun lets fly with a 3, no good. Stevens paused the rebound and hangs on to it.
Interesting though, Liam, the save in the low post play of Vadieva till the second half, which is very canny work. It means you can't go into halftime and talk about something you haven't experienced yet.
Slocum on a skip pass, moves it on one more to the corner. Moore lets fly, her shot no good. And Sioma.
That's a
Ball
tough
tipped
ball.
out of her hand. I thought Sioma lost it, but the referee had a better angle.
Wilson put pressure on Sioma. Sioma definitely touched it last. Vadieva takes her first break of the game. I wonder if that'll be the whole 3.5 minutes, or she'll just get a minute's break. We'll see.
We've got just over 3 minutes to play here in this first half.
First time in the tournament, Liam, sorry.
Go ahead.
USA have just taken the press off. It's now a relaxed half-court press. No pressure at all.
Hogan's shot, no good. Wilson tips it to Slocum. Does her best Curly Neal impersonation for a second or two. Now I'm dating myself. Moore, she attacks the zone. No good, too hard off the backboard. And that's Kolosovskaya with the easy 2. She's got a baker's dozen.
Levchenko another assist as well. She's having an outstanding game. That is textbook fast break too.
Still the Americans, no one in the high post. There's a flash from Azare Stevens. This is better by the Americans. Wilson draws the foul and makes the dribble penetration of Nafisha Collier. Finds a little crease in the zone, attacks it on the dribble, and moves it on to Wilson.
Yeah, the quick skip pass that really caught the zone off balance, and on the heels, Collier, beautiful penetration, and what a pass to Wilson.
Now this is Kolosovskaya with her 3rd personal. She's the leading scorer for the Russians, 13. There is a substitute at the bench. It's Kremova. I can only imagine she's going to come in to spell Daria Kolosovskaya. Wilson makes the second. In fact, makes them both. There's Asia Wilson, and it is indeed Kolosovskaya who comes out. And Mick, to answer your question, Vadieva just got a quick break. She's right back in.
Minute 14 seconds for the extendable number 5, Vadieva. Look at the press now. It's just gone back to man-to-man. First time in the tournament.
That'll be a psychological edge to the Russians. They'll take some confidence from that at halftime. Levchenko uses the high ball screen of Vadieva. Spots up from the elbow. No good. Gets her own rebound. Shimmies through the lane. Slocum almost stole it. That shot hard. Americans contest. And look at Wilson and Vadieva go at it. Well, I talked about the strong hands of Vadieva. Mix tries to rip it out of Asia Wilson's hands.
You know, she doesn't get 20 rebounds in a game without having a nose for that ball, that's for sure. I'll tell you the one element about coming out of a press and going straight back into man-to-man now, Russia can control tempo a little easier. And that's how much ground you're giving up. I'd be tempted to stay in the press. There was elements that caused turnovers, that made them throw these lateral passes, which against man-to-man they won't have to do now.
Kolosovskaya checks back in for Russia with 50 to play.
Offensive substitution. I think they should be out, given half a chance.
Here she is on the wing. She loves to operate from there. A little touch pass to Vadieva. Can't convert. And there's some big bodies making compete for rebounds in there. Sioma knocks it out of bounds. I beg your pardon, that's Musina who knocks it out of bounds. The Americans come back.
Surprising it, Kolosovskaya out on that end line out of bounds. Defensive sub. Won't want to pick up that 4th now.
And now she's at the back of the zone. Will the Americans attack her? There's the high post flash from Wilson. And it's going to be a foul on Maria Vadieva, who just closes out and contests the shot.
Beautiful skill work from Wilson, just to catch, turn, and shoot.
So now, that's the 2nd foul on Vadieva. Kolosovskaya stays in the game. And Wilson misses that free throw. for two that trip, does Wilson. Americans again stay in that man-to-man. They come out of the press. They trail by one. RusvUsa picks up a dribble. It's tipped. Stevens ahead to Slocum. She misses. Stevens follows up, and it's another foul on Vadieva. The foul's from behind.
Yeah, that's poor work from RusvUsa. I'm not sure. Levchenko needs to take more order on this Russian team. Slocum blows the layup just a little too strong, but Vadieva, beautiful work from Zure. Stevens just following in.
Well, Mick, here's something to think about. So Vadieva picks up her third foul. RusvUsa with three.
Well, Donskop's going to get one of them out, that's for sure.
Stevens, just the shooter's roll on that shot. Zure Stevens from Raleigh, North Carolina, chose to stay at home and play her collegiate basketball at Duke. Parade Magazine All-American. Now representing her country here in Russia. Makes both. Americans get their noses in front now for the first time in the whole quarter. Moore. I beg your pardon, it's Collier who presses RusvUsa. She dribble penetrates and draws the foul. The U.S. are going to take a timeout here with 1:02 to go.
Well, bizarrely enough, with America playing half-court man-to-man now, instead of going away from this trap, in some ways it favors Russia, because they will have this array of offenses they will go to. They'll run and duck and dive, and eventually Vadieva will get plenty of touches in the second half in that low post, which the USA will have to come up with some answers for, because as good as she is tough to stop.
Well, 5 of these Russians play for the same club, not far from here, the Spartak Vidnoy club. So Rusina, Vadieva, Levchenko, 3 starters, play as clubmates together. They'll have a good understanding when they get to their man sets.
And most of them are playing up in the Super League too. They're the top 3 teams in Russia. Have all the money, they take all the best players, they bring all the imports in. Spartak, who once were a very huge powerhouse in European basketball, not so much the budget that they used to have, so they bring in these juniors. They've got a lot of kids, young kids they grow, they bring up, and they live in the dormitories over there. They go to school there, they get their basketball every day. It's a very, very good club for young talent, that's for sure.
Here's one of those players now, Daria RusvUsa. Easily short-handed from the free throw line, misses that one.
9 of 13 coming into this game. As you said, just a solid shooter.
This is both. Wilson with the rebound. Now the Americans with a chance to control the end of this half. With a minute left, they could get a 2-for-1. Slocum guarded closely by Levchenko. Into the high post, Wilson goes at Vadieva, powers it up and in. That's intelligent from the Americans as they attack Vadieva with their 3 fouls. Wilson converts.
And they got the switch out of the pick and roll because they knew Vadieva was not going to mark Wilson. Tough play.
Slocum getting a lot of minutes from Coach Staley. Vadieva gets deep, right-handed jump hook, no good. Rusina with the rebound. Stolen. It's Collier with the steal to Slocum. Moore with the trailer. Oh, terrific passing by the Americans. Finished off by Collier. Oh, great unselfish play by Team USA.
Oh, just what this crowd didn't want to finish off the half-time. Finish the first half off. Vadieva is just lacking confidence. Those 3 fouls just knocked it out of her.
Well, Slocum gets called for trying to fight through a screen too aggressively.
I think it was a nothing call, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it didn't really affect play. The Russians now will have 3 seconds to try and score. As we bring this first half to a close, the Americans have cut themselves in front by 5. Rusina, she's going to let fly with a 3. It's deflected by Wilson. Just enough does A'ja Wilson to put the shot off. So At the end of the first half of play, the Americans, who were down as many as 8, lead the Russians by 5. It's the defending champion Americans 39, the Russians 34. As you look at some numbers, make anything jump out at you?
Well, just for the fact that USA, as big as they are, as good as they are inside, still not shooting close to 50%. Inside the arc, just 2 made baskets away from it. The rebounds there for a USA 10 offensive. Russia responded with their own 8 offensive rebounds, so fairly even. Assists, the interplay between the USA on the break has been inspirational, and that's what they love to do. Get out on the break, run it, move it around, and get layups.
10 and 9 turnovers respectively for the two teams. We'll get a look at some of the scoring. There is Daria Kolosovskaya for Russia with 13. Azure Stevens with 16. Yesterday, Mick, it was Collier who stepped up and did the scoring for the Americans with 24. Today, it's Azure Stevens.
Yeah, she's had double figures in most games, Azure Stevens. I think she had double figures yesterday, too. I mean, she's a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure. And I think those 2 threes that she got early in the game definitely set her down. And she's been very a big obstacle for Russia to deal with.
We'll take a 10-minute break and come back and join us for continuing coverage of the FIBA Under-19 Women's World Championships of Basketball. Welcome back to Chekhov, Russia. Welcome back to coverage of the FIBA Under-19 World Championships of Basketball for Women. Just joining us, welcome. If you were with us in the first half, welcome back. Here's your score. The USA lead by 5 at halftime by a score of 39-34. The Americans were down by as many as 8 points in the second quarter, clawed their way back to lead by 5. Team USA paced on offense by Azurá Stevens with 16. Asia Wilson with 14. The Russians who defend Daria Polosovskaya with 13. Cena with 8. Their star, number 5, Maria Vadieva, has been quiet with 5. We'll see what sort of attitude she brings to the floor here at the start of the second half. Gold medal game for all the marbles between the USA and Russia. The Americans come out with Destiny Slocum at the point, Mariah Moore, Nafisa Collier, Azurá Stevens, and Asia Wilson. Make it as a strong and big lineup for the Americans.
As you started, except for Slocum, isn't it? Slocum played a great last 5 or 6 minutes, and yeah, I think he said at halftime, Coach Stady went through 3 point guards first half. Couldn't get comfortable either one of them, but Slocum seems to be the best option.
There's a travel by Wilson.
Straight away, they're trying to draw this 4th foul out of Maria Vadieva as Wilson goes head-to-head with her.
The Russians come out with Levchenko, Polosovskaya, Vadieva, Musina. Open is the 5th. Good ball movement to free up Polosovskaya. She left her shot from the baseline short. Slocum comes up with a rebound, looking for a pass. Finds Stevens on the baseline. Her shot is no good. Great hustle by Collier. The Americans extend pressure. Now it's numbers for Russia. It's a 3-on-1. Vadieva, left-handed shot's good.
Oh, how good is that? How good is that? Just took her time, extended her arms, just dropped it over Stevens.
Destiny Slocum, a little story. Mick, I'm not sure if you've heard this. I spoke to the media rep from Team USA. Slocum did not go through any of the preparations. Wasn't with the team in Colorado Springs or in Spain for their preseason or pre-tournament tournament. Arrived here in Moscow an hour before their first game started. Welcome to the team.
She looks settled in now. That was a beautiful play there for another 2 for Asia. Wilson's 16. Ties Stevens' 16 for high at the game.
Hogan hands off to Levchenko. Slocum gets around the screen. Musina checks the seams, lets fly, no good. Moore with the rebound. The Americans have got numbers. Wilson. This looks like it could have been a clean steal from Levchenko. Mick, I want to see this again.
The pickpocket in the house. Look at this. This is beautiful work. Levchenko runs right underneath her. Maybe a hand on the wrist, but she turns to the referee and say, yeah, that was pretty clean, ref.
So when Slocum went to the tryouts, Mick, she wasn't even selected as an alternate. The Americans went through their alternates, through some injuries. And they had to call on Slocum and said, hey, we're in Moscow. Can you get here? Welcome to the tournament, Destiny Slocum.
Well, she got through the airport on her own.
Yeah, exactly.
Goodness me.
You know how hard that was. Wilson gets the shooter's roll, makes both.
Second free throw is bounced up and bounced back in again. You know, Russia aren't hitting anything right now. That will come later in the game. So it's got to be patient. Look at the defense from Slocum on Levchenko. They know Levchenko's the only real true point guard they've got.
Slocum working very hard on defense. Slides across the top of the screen. And then just a little bit too much pressure.
There's the intelligence of Levchenko. She just threw that foul, and Slocum just a little over exuberant. She knew full well she's breathing down her neck. If I just hesitate, I'll draw the foul.
It is the second foul on Destiny Slocum. So possession for the Russians. And the partisan crowd here find their voices as they try to get behind their team. Just got a technical flaw here as the officials come to the scorer's table.
I think the game clock's gone from the 24-second clock. The lights have gone out. I think that's what they've, somebody's kicked a wire somewhere above the shot clock. You see they're looking up to the shot clock. That's the problem. Shot clock should have the shot clock numbers, I think, as well as the game clock. But maybe.
referees have sorted it out. The shot clock and game clock are right on top of the backboard for the players to see. It is quite hard, though. The green lighting isn't very bright. RusvUsa on the wing. A little sweep move. Gets deep. Lucina lost the pass. Look how the Americans run their lanes, but Stevens can't get it out quick enough. Now Stevens puts it on the floor. Slocum comes back to get it. Staley calls the play from the sideline for the Americans. Shot clock at 8. Slocum spots up. No good. Collier comes up with a rebound, and Vadieva just takes it away from her. The strong hands of Maria Vadieva. Polovskaya on a terrific pass down the floor by Levchenko. Makes the baby J.
Well, for all of Coach Staley's gesturing to run an offense, the offense wasn't very good. And straight down the other end, Russia score.
Wilson with a show and go. She goes by Vadieva, but doesn't have the composure to finish.
Not too far away from that fourth foul, that's for sure.
Lucina takes a look at a three. Get it! RusvUsa with a three. That brings Russia to within 2.
That's called momentum right there. Twice they've gone after this extra foul on Vadieva. Come up short. Now they need some energy because they've slowed down the U.S.
Collier tries to respond with a three of her own, and she does. I beg your pardon, it's Maria Moore.
That is just phenomenal play. There was no speed about that offense at all. Gets to the corner and just drills it.
Polovskaya on the wing calls the play. Levchenko finds space behind Vadieva's screen, and she rattles home a three of her own.
And Slocum goes under the pick and roll and pays the heavy, heavy price. He's playing as good as he's playing. He's just got to smarten up a bit.
Slocum goes by Levchenko. Did she turn it over? She did. Coach Staley just trying to tell her to calm down a little bit.
I tell you, you've got Asia Wilson, needs the ball. Full stop. I mean, when you get her in the high or the low, she needs the ball.
So now Russia with a chance to tie or go ahead. Just trip down the floor. Sioma, little backdoor to Levchenko. Good defense by Collier. Slocum trying to find a pass. She does find Collier. Collier moves it on to Wilson. She can't convert. Collier with the rebound. She'll give it to Stevens, who moves it on. A little bit too unselfish. Well, the American interior players, Collier, Stevens, and Wilson, just sharing the basketball.
Just one too many for the Russians, isn't it? One too many. Good work from Ogun here. I think she got down, gave up the foul, but it was the ball was in Wilson's hands, and she was quite happy to get down and dirty and get after it. Slocum out. I thought she played very well, Destiny Slocum.
Gabby Ortiz comes in. Ortiz was open on a backdoor cut. Stevens couldn't see her. Shot clock now at 7. Into Wilson, who powers it up over Vadieva.
Well, we talked last night about who was the best player in the world. Well, Slocum's... good move. Wilson's getting the better of it tonight, but what a move from Polovskaya.
Finishes with the left hand on the drive. Right now, she's keeping the Russians in it. She's got 17. Leading all scorers for the team in white. Wilson pops open on the baseline all by herself. A little scoop shot's good. Good composure from Asia Wilson. Yeah, I know you like that. That's a travel, I know.
That's super move. Pump fake, step through. It's all gone quiet. Look at this. This is the post that they don't want.
Vadieva wants the ball, gets it, just didn't convert. Levchenko lets fly. It's good! Oh, Ksenia Levchenko emotes. And she's got Russia within 1.
Well, the people step forward you don't expect to, and Gabby Ortiz has got her hands full right now. Offensively and defense. You've got to come up with a good offense here. Wilson needs the ball again.
Stevens is going to use a ball screen from Wilson. Stevens strong to the basket, and Stevens, what an asset she is, Mick, with her length and mobility to put it on the floor.
Yeah, Russia need to go zone. They need to change it up, get a zone. There's too many leaky holes because Vadieva can't give up that extra foul.
Zone, of course, would allow Vadieva to protect her a little bit. Now she finds herself in a trap. Sioma lets fly. Sioma's shot rims out. And Moore with the rebound. She'll give it ahead to Wilson. Wilson off the mark. Gabby Ortiz. She can't come up with it. There's 4 Americans down the floor. Just one back. It's Stevens on defense. Here comes Levchenko. Oh, behind the back. Kolosovskaya got it! Oh, what a play by Ksenia Levchenko!
Oh, what a time to do it. Raise the crowd up into all sorts of emotion.
Oh, my heavens. Wilson looks eyeball to eyeball with Vadieva. The left-hand shot won't go. Stevens tips it. She can't convert and then commits a foul.
There's a foul waiting to happen somewhere under that basket. So much contact. And the referees calm it down a bit. Stevens picks up second foul.
Now both coaches go to their benches. Shatrice White and Ali Patberg will check in. Patberg getting her first minutes in this game. The Russians come in with Maiga and Krimova.
Wilson takes a break too. It's an important passage here for the United States. Got to keep the nose in front with Wilson on the bench.
Vadieva's out for the Russians. Patberg trying to guard Kolosovskaya. Who touched it last? Great defense. It's Nafisha Collier who tips it.
That must be the 4th cross-court pass, lateral pass they've tried to make today, Russia, and every time it's been under pressure.
Ortiz walks it across the midcourt stripe. Trying to find a pass. Stevens looking down at White. Oh, nice pass to Collier. Just got buried under the basket. White comes up with it and powers it up and in. Patrice White draws the foul.
Well, she's just been dynamite on the backboards for America. Look, uses a lot of space in there, moves defenders around, trying to look for numbers as far as rebounds are concerned for White. 3rd rebound of the game, but it seems a lot more.
White knocks down the first free throw.
2 points she has. But, I think our minutes have been very valuable. Real scrapper in there. Gets the dirty work done.
There's a young lady from Nebraska, which is American football country. She'll know about dirty work, that's for sure. Shelby, Nebraska. Levchenko on the wing for Russia. Sioma now is going to try and make something happen. Moves it on to Krimova, who darts to the basket. The pass intended for Maiga, a little too strong, and it's a turnover for Russia.
Just lost their way a little bit, the Russians, and Americans 2-16 to go. Vadieva straight back in, and that's good coaching from Dmitry Donskov. Doesn't want to lose any momentum here. It's an important 2 minutes for the United States there. Maybe get some daylight here. 8-point lead going into this 4th period will suit them fine.
There's Patberg with the ball for the Americans. Inside to White. White, a little Sigma move. That's a good move by Shatrice White. She just ran into a girl called Maria Vadieva.
I've been trying to focalize that ball onto Stevens right now.
Stevens matched up with Sioma. Shot clock at 5 for the Americans. Patberg lets fly. No good. He had to shoot it. Shot clock running down. Sioma with the rebound for Russia. Sioma goes at Stevens on the dribble drive. And draws a foul on Shatrice White.
Could have had 2 or 3 fouls the same play. I thought Stevens got it first. Well, these against White, you're right there.
White coming from the help side.
Sioma's such an agile player. Shows the 3-pointer, gets that ball down so quickly out of her hands onto the floor. Referees love that, to see that when they haven't got to make a decision about whether they should travel or not.
Tatiana Sioma plays for the Dynamo Kursk club.
First points tonight, 9 of 11 coming in. 10th 3-pointer made there in the tournament.
She's a member of that squad, the Russian squad that won European gold last summer in Portugal. What an experience for these players, Mick, to play in front of a home audience. It must be a Well, it's something they'll never forget. Lauren Cox now into the Americans. She gets her first touch. And she's fouled from behind.
Oh, great defense from Levchenko. Gabby Ortiz wants to run the offense on the sideline, and Levchenko's just not going to let her back into the middle. A shame they didn't try and front the low post there, just to put a bit more pressure on their rusher.
There's a foul from behind the low post. Patberg was open, didn't get it. Collier spots up. That shot's no good. And Patberg hustles for the rebound. She gets called for the foul.
Well, if you're going to get your minutes in the game, Ali Patberg knows full well all you got to do is throw a body around, get involved.
It's the fourth team foul for the Americans, so no shots yet for Team Russia. Russia, chance here now to get their noses in front. They trail by 1. Patrice White battling for position with Bedieva. Bedieva lost it.
They're going to change this one up, yeah.
Good referee, and the referees confer. Tipped out of bounds by an American hand, and so 11 seconds on the shot clock.
You know, not one complaint from the Americans either. They knew full well, and I'll say, I'll go back to it. The players usually get a good idea what's happening out there.
Kolosovskaya curls, moves it on one more. Baseline jump shot by Sioma, too strong.
Beautiful box out from Patrice White, just moved Bedieva out of the off rebounding position.
Ortiz, dogged by Levchenko. White's going to try her hand from distance, that's short. Ortiz to Patberg, who steps through and missed the layup. White with the rebound. Brings it back out wisely to Ortiz, who resets. Good Staley calls the play. And Patrice White, here's a little bit of coach speak for you, Mick. You've heard this from me many times. You catch the ball with your eyes, you got to see the pass coming. White didn't even see it. Ortiz thought she was open, but able to see that ball. So
I'm not sure who she's aiming for.
20 seconds of the third quarter of play in this under-19 World's gold medal game. Bedieva. Shot off the mark by Kuklinova. And now the Americans with seconds left. Patberg to Ortiz. White. Got it! Patrice White with a 3 at the end of the third quarter. And that puts the Americans up 4.
What a huge shot. And Bedieva was breathing down her neck. That is a game changer right there.
Oh, my heavens. I thought Ortiz was going to shoot it herself, but she had faith in her teammate. White had just missed the last shot badly. There's some confidence from the American, and there's your score at the end of 3 quarters. It's the USA 57 and Russia 53. It has been one heck of a ball game so far.
Yeah, look at the stats too. USA under 40%, Russia just creeping up to 50%, 7 3-pointers. I feel that's the biggest key of this game is how well the Russians shoot once there's a double team on Bedieva. And she kicks out, because that's all. Every time she touches it low post, a double team goes right at it, and it's long and tall. Therefore, when the kick out comes, you're going to have open shots. Can Russia sustain the pressure, handle those open J's?
Both teams with 16 assists each, showing some good team basketball. As you see some highlights from action throughout this game. Let's hope we see that behind the back pass from Levchenko again. That was a beauty. Mick, we talked about it off air, you know, at dinner last night. That's how sad we are. We talk about basketball at dinner. We fully expected to see a zone from the Russians. The Americans shot over 10 from behind the arc against Spain. The Russians have come out and just played man-to-man defense throughout.
Yeah, I just think that the first half when they showed it, Donskov, I just think lacks confidence in it, because the ball movement from the United States was outstanding. They didn't need to shoot threes. They were getting backdoor cuts, backdoor passes, little penetrations in between the seams. And Asia Wilson will come back into the game here. Well, we talked about the time she was going to be on the bench. I think she left when the US were up by 1. They're up by 4 now.
It'll be Russia's ball. They'll come out with Kolosovskaya, Levchenko, Musina, Bedieva, and Ogun. The Americans have got Dangerfield, Patberg, Wilson, Stevens, and Moore. That shot by Musina off the mark. the length of Vadeeva, gets the rebound. Levchenko is so quick.
Yeah,
Rejected the screen, went the other way.
Dangerfield's got one eye on that screen coming to her left. Therefore, as you get caught off balance, it's tough to defend big time, and then there's no help back there either.
Pass intended for Vadeeva, gets there in the end. Left-handed hook, no good. She stays after it. A determined effort by the number 5 for Russia. Kolosovskaya. That's too strong.
That will be the story of the night. Open Jays, because they're all going to bump down on Vadeeva.
Dangerfield kicks. Moore checks the seams, lets it go. Get it! Inside-out basketball by the Americans. And as quick as that, the Russians want a timeout.
Oh, that's the difference, isn't it? One open Jay down one end. Response from Collier down the other end. And yeah, you're right. The TO for Donskov. Dmitry Donskov there, Liam. He's got his hands full now. 7 points. That's the biggest lead for the US, I think. Oh my word, how well they played. 3-point shooting for the US now stands at 5 for 11. That's pretty good going. In fact, their 3-point shooting is 45%. Their 2-point shooting is 37%.
You wouldn't expect that ahead of time, would you, coming into this game?
Looking at last night's game, no, you're right. That's exactly right.
This is a coach's nightmare. You come out of the huddle at the end of the third quarter, you give your team some instructions, and then you got to burn a timeout in the first 40 seconds of the fourth quarter.
It just kills momentum. I think he won't be too upset with that. He won't want to call another one, that's for sure, but they need to come back and respond quickly here, Russia.
The Russians have 2 timeouts remaining. The Americans have their full complement of 3. Three on the way, no good by Musina. And it's the Russians, Mick, who are struggling from behind the rainbow. Musina is just 1 for 5 from behind the arc.
Well, they're going to get the looks. They will get their looks because the high-low option is the zone for Russia. 3-2 zone, 3 at the top, 2 at the back.
Surprising zone for a team that doesn't particularly shoot it well, although today they are. Wilson finds a crease. She is stopped by Musina. Here comes Vadeeva. Vadeeva. Hogan lost it momentarily. Rises over Wilson. Stevens with the rebound. Makes a Cardinal sin and saves it under her own basket and pays the penalty.
Beautiful work from Russia. Unlucky for Stevens. Did everything right, box out, fumbled the ball eventually. There's one miss against his zone. The zone's got a big hole in that high post. Adrian Wilson just need to get to that high post.
Stevens.
See the mismatch down low, the isolation down low they're looking for.
There's a screen, and I don't agree with this, Meg. I think this is a good screen. It's only because Musina ends up on her backside that they call this. I don't think Stevens moves. We'll get a look at it in the instant replay. I think that's as good a screen as you can set.
Wow. The theatrical ending was caught the referee's eye. Stevens got 3 fouls. Not necessarily panic to take her out, but Shatrice White is a good substitution for her.
Musina. She puts it on the floor, and Wilson blocks it with both hands.
Yeah, she just lost her feet at the last minute. She slipped, tripped. I'm not sure. I thought she was going to sky on that one. Got no elevation. I think she just stepped on Wilson's leg.
White really leaning on Vadeeva to get her out of the blocks. Levchenko gonna have to deal now. Shot clock at 3. Levchenko lets it go. Oh, look at him, offense by accident. It's Levchenko with a deuce as the shot clock is running down.
Turns around to the bench and doesn't celebrate because she knew full well. I think she just got upset because the shot clock was running down. She didn't know about it.
into the baseline. Great pass to Wilson. And she is fouled. It's good execution by the Americans to find Wilson along the...
Well, they run the same offense, baseline screen. It opens up on against the zone, against man-to-man at work anywhere. But it's a tough call. I thought there's... you've seen it play good defense there.
Here's Wilson at the line.
7 of 9 now. Having a good night.
Again, the commentators curse. But Moore comes up with the rebound. Into that baseline again. Wilson powers it up and scores over Vadieva.
That's just tough. That's just tough. Used the body, got the strength over Vadieva. And both, Vadieva's not strong, not weak herself.
That's a matchup that we've relished for the last 24 hours and hasn't failed to impress. Here's Levchenko. She'll step back from behind the three-point line. It's nothing but nylon. Ksenia Levchenko with a three.
Again, defense goes under. Levchenko's been shooting hot all night. You know, sometimes if you're going to beat a team like the US, it's better to beat them coming from behind. Sometimes more difficult to be in the lead and win.
Wilson flashes to the ball. Feathers a pass to Shatrice White. He lays it up and in, big to big.
Oh, what a game she's having. 3-pointer to finish the quarter, and then a 2 there. Beautiful pass from Wilson.
Dangerfield gets across the top of the screen. Again across the top of the screen. It's a kick to Musina. She's going to let it fly. It's good! Oh, the Russians with back-to-back threes!
You're going to get wide open Jays. 2-point game now. USA, I think the USA are 3 stops away from being commanding position, but they cannot get those stops.
Wilson flashes to the high post. Has to step out of the lane to get it. Spins, extends. What an accomplished finish by A'ja Wilson.
27 huge ones.
The Naismith High School Player of the Year was Wilson. She won a gold medal with this team back in 2013. And she was very young indeed. Here's Ogun. Musina, can she make another? That's too strong. But Levchenko hustles.
Oh, we got a foul in there. This is against...
it's on Ogun.
Ogun, yeah. Liam, the record for any player in an under-19 championship wearing a USA shirt, 28 points. Wilson's on 27.
Who holds the record, do we know?
Alana Beard against Russia, 2001. And Jantel, 3 players, Wiggins, Candice Wiggins, Jantel Lavender, and Alana Beard. The last one being in 07, 28 points, 3 players. That's going to get broken.
So the Russians burn another timeout. We might have been cut off just by the commercial break there. Again, Wilson on 27 points is very close to setting a new record at these championships.
3 players ahead of it. 28 points is the record. Alana Beard, Jantel Lavender, Candice Wiggins in 01, 07, and 05. One of those being against Russia back in 2001. Of course, the record for made field goals is 11, because obviously those players would hold that record, and Wilson has 10 now. The record's for the most number of shots taken, 20. She's 1 away from that. Dinah Taurasi holds that record, by the way, 20 shots.
Wow.
She obviously needed, she was an outside player. She obviously needed to take a lot more.
Do you sleep at night? Man, you're impressive. You got your finger on the pulse.
Just reading the stats. Just reading the stats.
So we'll see if Wilson can indeed surpass that record. It's possession to the Americans. Russia come out in, it looks to be man-to-man defense. It is. Hackberg in the game, into the low post. Wilson finds space and draws the foul, and that's a chance to set the new mark.
Same offense, that baseline screen. They're going to keep milking it to Wilson. It's a good way of running, you know, a simple play of getting into the low post, but moving the defense around beforehand.
Wilson misses the first free throw. I've been impressed, Mick, with the depth of the Americans. You know, everybody's gotten involved. Slocum's had a good game. Dangerfield's played steady. Shatrice White provides terrific minutes for the Bigs.
8 of 12 now. Aja Wilson from the free throw line. She's just single-handedly getting this whole team on her back and saying, come on, follow me, girls, follow me. The gold medal's at the end of this trail.
She already has one gold medal, does Wilson. These championships were in Lithuania 2 years ago. Oh, great cut. This is unfortunate, Mick, because it was a great deep basket cut by Raisa Musina. I'm not entirely sure she did travel, to be honest. But it's academic now. It's a turnover.
It's a huge offense for the United States, Ryan. They're going to go milk it again.
There
Here
it
she comes.
Dangerfield to White. She's going to get called for 3 seconds. She is.
What on earth are you doing in this, Shatrice White? Get out of the lane, my goodness me.
Make space for the franchise. Make space for Wilson. That's 28 now. The Russians trail by 5. Important trip down the floor for them. As Nafisha Collier comes to the substitute bench in front of us. Levchenko in a double team. Kolosovskaya is wide open. Oh, terrific pass to Valieva, who lays it up and in.
What a play. What a play. Musina for 2. Sioma was just whipped it off her hands.
Oh, I beg your pardon, it's Musina with the bucket.
Valieva's out. Giving her a break.
Moore to White. White. Now she's showing you what she's doing in the middle, coach. She says, I can finish in here.
I got left. Beautiful. What a game.
Levchenko, change of speed. She'll step back and shoot it. That's no good. Dangerfield tips it to White, gets it back.
They could slow this game down on USA.
Dangerfield to Wilson, who scores. And now the Americans starting to stamp their authority on this one. They lead by 7.
Russia have got 1 timeout left. That's why there was no timeout called there, because you felt it was a time to do it. Valieva ought to be coming back into this game soon.
Kolosovskaya, can she get herself going? She's just earned herself not yet a trip to the line. The Americans with just 3 team fouls. So it'll be end-line ball for Russia.
Here she comes. Just waiting for the nod. She sprinted to the bench.
Valieva comes in to spell Musina. Musina with 16 points leads the Russians. No, I beg your pardon, it's Kolosovskaya with 19. Here she is on the baseline. Shot no good. Mariah Moore with the rebound.
Again, Shatrice White doing the dirty work, keeping Valieva off the boards. Just a beautiful box out. Textbook.
Dangerfield draws the foul.
Well, nothing going the Russians' way right now. Good work from Levchenko. Just reached at the last minute. 2 shots for Crystal Dangerfield. Yet to score in the game.
Dangerfield still in high school at Murfreesboro High School in Tennessee. She'll be heading to UConn, committed, but still has to get her high school diploma. This is the first free throw. Makes the second. Coach Staley wants a timeout to talk things over for the Americans. She burns her first. U.S. lead by 8.
That's a tough comeback right now. I just think that's just a mountain that might be too tough for this team to get over. 80 points, I think, will win this, Liam. United States, 7 points in 3 minutes. That means the Russians have to score 15 in 3 minutes.
The Americans have quietened the crowd for the most part. What a great atmosphere it's been here. Look around the arena, not too many empty places. Stay with us at the conclusion of this game for the presentation of awards. See who wins the All-Star 5. The Americans very close to winning their 6th consecutive gold medal at these under-19 World Championships. Since 2005, when this tournament adopted its 2-year format, it's played every 2 years. They are 42-2. Only 2 teams have beat them. I know this only because I've checked it out. Any idea who the 2 teams are who beat the Americans along the way?
Yeah, I do. It's Spain, and the next one will come to me in a minute.
You're right, it is Spain. That's one, yep.
I'm going to guess...
I'll give
Canada. Canada.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Spain in 09 won the first group game against the USA, and then saw the USA in the finals.
Tell me the last thing. When was the last time a USA team lost a final at junior level?
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to...
And that's how good the United States domination has been over the years.
Here's Levchenko, important possession here. A skip pass intended for Kolosovskaya was short. Collier to Dangerfield, finishes! And the Americans lead by 10.
That could be the nail in the coffin again. The lateral cross-court pass picked off with ease.
Sioma with a 3. Oh, Sioma at Lichna! With a timely 3 to keep the Russians in touch. There's no quit in this team. We trail by 7. Dangerfield now with a mismatch against Badieva. Settles for a jump shot. Sioma with a rebound.
Surprised Aja Wilson didn't get a touch.
Badieva's open going down the floor, and she scores it! Well, the Russians have still got life.
And poor clock management from the USA. They've got to get Wilson the ball. She's the only one that's going to dominate inside.
Wilson has 30 points. White can't get it. They're not even on Wilson's side of the floor right now.
No, not even looking.
White with 5 seconds to Collier. Tough shot. It falls. Oh, and Nafisha Collier wills it in.
Beautiful backdoor cut from Collier.
Levchenko to Kolosovskaya. That's off the mark. Whoa. That would have got the fans on their feet had that dropped.
Now you milk the time. Milk the clock. Take your time.
Pass deflected. Collier dives in the floor after it. Who's got it?
Wow.
It's a jump ball.
Very surprised. The Russians, unlucky for the Russians because there may be a foul as Krimova went to the floor. Here's the ball on the floor. That could have been a foul by Krimova, to be honest with you.
The Americans have 4 seconds to make something happen at the end of the shot clock. Into Wilson. Oh, terrific execution. Wilson just couldn't finish. Badieva, can she shoot 3s? Oh, great hustle by Sioma.
Well, he's got a timeout. Russian coach has timeout.
Americans have 2.
He might as well take it now. Probably wants it for an offense in a minute. Off a score maybe, or a turnover.
Collier. She's stripped. Comes up with it again. Dives down the lane, and shot is blocked. Staley wants a timeout to the Americans. And with 33 seconds left, the Americans lead by 7. I think they've got one hand on the gold medal.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. To be honest with you, Liam, they don't even need to shoot this ball. Even if they just get it in bounds and run the clock 10 seconds, takes 10 off 23, 7 points in 23 seconds. For the Russians, you've got a timeout to advance the ball just in case they score a 3. What you don't want is a quick shot here and provide seconds for the Russians to utilize later in the game.
Coach Staley drawing something up here. Try and use those 10 seconds.
Even if you get the ball in and don't take a shot, 10 seconds, shot clock goes off, fine. You get your defense back and reorganize. You take a shot and miss it, there's every chance of transition.
I'm just looking at the 5 that Coach says is going to stay with, and she's going to stay with White. That surprises me a little bit. No disrespect to White, but you might bring in somebody who's a little bit quicker, as the Russians are going to, no doubt, try to put some pressure here. Maybe bring in an extra guard.
You've got the whole White family.
I know I'm going to get
dialing your number right now.
Listen, she's done a very, very good job at what she's good at, but right now you got a team that might need an extra guard on the floor. Execution was pretty good. Last pass just off the mark.
Now turn around to the coach. Now what do we run?
Well, there's that timeout gone. The lob pass to Wilson. White, her shot deflected by Vadeeva. The U.S. should still have that. I thought it was deflected by Vadeeva.
It was indeed. Nobody's complaining. Oh, yeah, White is complaining, but she might be the sole voice out there.
It's right in front of us. We had a good look at it. So the Russians will burn their last timeout. This will advance the ball into their front court for any Americans who are watching and getting used to the international rules. This will allow...
Well, this game's just about done. Nothing stupid defensively for the United States. Don't do anything. Don't risk anything. Just play the three-point line. Keep any penetration down to a minimum. And then he scored. Coach Staley should call timeout anyway.
The U.S. have a foul to give. They can afford to foul, and the shooter won't go to the line. The U.S. with one timeout left. If you're Russia, Mick, are you looking for a three here? Will you settle for a quick two?
Got to go three, haven't you? You got no choice here.
Yeah, you might not get the ball again. So, and then you're looking for that three, a score, and then a quick press. The Russians. Americans can avoid that press with a timeout that'll advance it. You know me, I always like to keep a timeout in my pocket at the end, and Coach Staley's got one left. Let's see what the Russians have got for us. Kolosevskaya to bring it in. Vadeeva is going to go on the dribble drive. Just left it short. Dangerfield, the Russians need the foul. There it is. Vadeeva fouls. And for Maria Vadeeva, that's going to be her fifth foul. She will sadly check out with 11 points, but Mick, what a tournament it has been for her. And we're very much anticipating, we won't know now for a few more minutes, but we're anticipating that she will be in the All-Star 5 of this tournament.
Yeah, and you know what, Liam, I think it confirms too. You know, we got two players here. I think Asia Wilson has got a slight edge on Vadeeva, maybe a bit more experience, maybe a couple of years of experience on her too. She's 2 years older. But two of the best players in the world, and maybe this game has showed that Wilson probably got a little more in a locker than Vadeeva, but two players to watch out for the future.
They're both playing with older players. As Levchenko's trying to get a three off. No good. Dangerfield comes up with the loose ball, and the Russians are going to give up the ghost. And so the United States will celebrate a sixth consecutive gold medal at the FIBA Under-19 Women's World Championships. There's some American fans in the audience showing the colors. But let's give credit to the Russians, who really make the only team who pushed the Americans in this tournament. There's your final score. It's USA 78. They retain their title, and Russia, the silver medalists, 70. Certainly the Americans, when they go back to the hotel tonight, Mick, will know they have been in the game. All credit to a spirited and disciplined performance by the Russian team.
You know, you take that three-pointer before the end of the third period from Shetris White that turned it into a 5-point game. Well, that's little game changers, because in an 8-point game like that, it's so key. But fully deserving. I mean, what a performance from Asia Wilson, 30 points. Now holds the record for the number of points scored in any Under-19 World Championship wearing an American shirt.
Azare Stevens with 18, Collier with 10, Kolevskaya with 19. She's putting a claim in maybe to be an all-tournament selection, All-Star 5. Vadeeva, 13 boards to go with her 11 points. You can see they're bringing out the hardware, bringing out the medals and the podiums. So stay with us to bring the medal ceremony to you. Russians will claim silver. They'll add that to their trophy cabinet. They have 2 silvers already as Russia and 2 golds as the USSR. And you can see it smiles all around for Team USA. Getting a look at some highlights. This probably will wrap things up as far as the basketball action goes. And the Russian fans right now getting behind their teenagers. There are 2 world championships for juniors, the under-17 worlds and the under-19 worlds. And certainly here at this age group for the women, they have dominated now for the last decade. Americans started their campaign with a training camp in the altitude of the mountains in Colorado Springs at the U.S. Olympic Training Center. They spent a week together there. Players told me it was 2-a-days. And then they played the American Pan Am Games team, which is made of older collegians. These are all teenagers, of course, who are high school students or freshmen in college. And the teenagers won one of those 2 games. That was certainly a source of
I'm not surprised.
bragging rights.
To be honest, I'm not surprised. You know, you've got some players in this team, Wilson, Stevens, and Collier, for instance, 3 of the top players right now in U.S. college basketball back in the States. I am not surprised at all. You know, there were question marks about the guard play for the U.S. But, you know, you look at all 4 of them that came into the game, Patberg, Slocum,
Dangerfield,
Ortiz and Dangerfield. Dangerfield and Slocum were outstanding, I thought. And Dangerfield closed out that game in true style. Very, very steady play from all 4 of them.
Americans then, having completed their preseason training camp, went to play a friendly tournament in Murcia, Spain. They played Spain, Canada, and Australia, won those games. And they've run the table here, gone 7-0. They've been away from home now for a better part of a month by the time they get back to their homes in the USA. And there they are, the American women celebrating. You know, Mick, you and I have talked about this already amongst ourselves, but despite this resurgence or this decade of dominance, it hasn't always been easy for the Americans. The tournament stretches all the way back to 1985. It was first played on American soil in Colorado Springs. The USSR won that.
For the first 3 tournaments, they lost to South Korea in every tournament.
Yeah, imagine that, yeah.
And that wouldn't happen today. There'd be no chance of that. So how did that happen back then? Because they were all college players back then, too. It wasn't like you're taking high school players out. I mean, Dawn Staley talked about the time she went in 2001. No, maybe earlier than that.
89.
89. Yeah. How her team was bad, but had Lisa Leslie on the team.
Certainly plenty of talent, and Coach Staley herself was a 3-time Olympic gold medal winner.
Yeah. So, you know, your guess is as good as mine at why on earth they didn't do as well in the early years. Soviet Union obviously dominated everything back then, but
Americans getting their house in order, so they came 5th in 85 and 89. The tournament was played every 4 years in those days. They came 7th in Bilbao, Spain, and Seoul, South Korea, 7th again. It wasn't until 97 when they touched gold in Brazil. 01, they won the bronze in the Czech Republic. But since then, there's been nothing but gold for Team USA. Look at the Russian flag, which is ever present here in this arena. Chekhov has been our home for the last week. It's a city of about 60,000 people in what they call the Moscow region, just south of
will begin in
Moscow
just a
proper.
few moments. We invite teams to leave the court and move to the team entrance while we get everything ready.
Дамы и господа, через несколько минут мы начнем церемонию награждения призеров
Russia haven't been in the medal round since 05. They came 4th in that 2005 tournament. And the PA announcer here in the arena just
getting the riff-raff off.
Уважаемые болельщики, давайте поддержим команды. Ваши аплодисменты. Давайте поддержим друг друга.
USSR won this tournament the first year in 85. As I mentioned, they won it again in 89. South Korea team that you mentioned, Mick, they won a silver back in the inaugural tournament.
Yeah, looking through those numbers, some strange teams that ended up doing very well in the end in some of those tournaments. Obviously, Soviet Union and Yugoslavia don't exist anymore as proper countries, but South Korea is second, as you said. Zaire entered the 1993 tournament, and I don't think we've seen Zaire for a long, long time since. They don't exist as a country anymore, do they?
Remember, anyone who's new to this tournament, there are 16 teams who come here. They come from the 5 FIBA zones from around the world: Oceania, Africa, Europe, Asia, and the Americas. All send representatives to this tournament. This tournament's billed as seeing the superstars of tomorrow. Mickey and I have said over the last couple of days, there's been a litany of very good players who've come through here. There's been 4 WNBA #1 picks: Lauren Jackson, the Australian, 2001, Dinah Taurasi, 2004, Maya Moore, 2011, Mika Mike, 2012. So we could very well be seeing some future pros here in front of us today.
Yeah, there's been some teams where they've just wiped their Tamika Captains, another great WNBA player, was one of the players that, by the by, it's been a real Candice Wiggins, that team as well. Nikki Anasiki back in 2005. I think that team was averaged 112 points a game. I think that's the biggest average that any USA team has put together. With Crystal Langhorne, Candice Wiggins, Courtney Paris on that team. It was a real heavy-hitting team.
Just waiting now for the teams to come into the arena one by one. They'll be called in.
Just to see the teams that have won this trophy. Czech Republic have won it once, Australia have won it once, Soviet Union twice. The USA, obviously, the 7th time now they've won it. And the second place teams the USA have beaten the last 6 years. France won, Spain twice, Sweden, Serbia and Montenegro. And a lot of varying European teams. It's usually a USA versus Europe matchup somewhere along the line.
It's been a pathway to the Olympics for many players as well. Certainly something that these young women can look forward to, representing their country at the most prestigious basketball tournament in the world.
It is now time for the closing ceremony of
Just
the
commence our closing
2015
ceremonies now.
FIBA Under-19 Women's World Championship.
Дамы и господа, мы начинаем церемонию награждения призеров первенства мира по баскетболу среди девушек до 19 лет.
Please welcome the teams. Australia.
Приглашаем команды победительницы. Австралия.
The Russian.
We're going to bring the Australians onto the floor first. They won the bronze medal earlier today. If you're with us to see that game, Australia beating Spain. Here are the Russians that go out to rapturous applause in front of their home fans.
The United States of America.
And last but certainly not least, it's Team USA ready to receive their gold medal.
To ask the teams to remain standing behind the podium during the presentation of the individual awards.
Мы просим участников команд оставаться за подиумом во время награждения лучших
Present the teams their
игроков.
awards. We'll do the individual awards, the All-Star 5 and the MVP of the tournament. My partner here has got he's handing me a note, I think. Have you selected your 5, Coach?
Yeah.
Okay, you confident?
I'm not too confident. No, I'll get 4 out of 5 right, I'm sure. 5th one I'm not sure about.
We'll see who it is.
It is now time for the All-Star 5 awards.
And here it is, without
presented by
further ado, the
TISO.
All-Star 5.
The awards will be presented by FIBA President Horacio Muratore.
А сейчас
It is
время
Mr.
награждения
Horacio Muratore,
лучших
the FIBA
игроков.
president, who will come out.
Призы предоставлены компанией ТИСО.
Present the
Награды
awards.
вручает президент Международной федерации баскетбола Horacio Muratore.
These All-Star awards are presented by TISO. Coach Muratore, I mean, pardon, Horacio Muratore just there waving to the players.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the All-Star 5 of the 2015 FIBA Under-19 Women's World Championship.
Встречайте, лучшие игроки первенства.
Nafisa Collier, number 10, the USA.
First selection, Nafisa Collier. She had 24 points in the semifinal win yesterday. 10 points today. Take a serious claim yesterday, I would suggest, Mick, with her strong performance in the semis.
Yeah, she's solid. There's no doubt about it. Maybe Azure Stewart and Nafisa Collier were vying for that position, but there's no doubt about it yet. I go with that 24 yesterday. And that performance herself put her in the top 10 of performances in terms of points scored.
Daria Polovskaya. Yeah, she plays her basketball not far from here, so she's deserving too on the strength of her performance today. 19 points in a losing effort for the Russians.
Alana Smith, number 12, Australia.
Well, Alana Smith, who was a woman on a mission in the semi-final, I beg your pardon, the bronze medal game today, had 11 points in the first quarter. And pleased for her, she didn't play to her capabilities in the semi-final loss last night to Russia. Just 1 point, fouled out. No surprise here, it's Maria Vadieva, the Russian center, the interior player. 11 points today, sadly fouled out in today's game.
Asia Wilson, number 40, the USA.
Asia Wilson rounds out the All-Star 5. Wilson with 30 points, leading the Americans to the gold medal. It is her second gold medal. She was with this team in 2013 when they won in Lithuania.
We would like to ask the players to line up for a team photo.
The young ladies will pause for the photograph, and they'll receive the applause from what is still a crowded auditorium here. All credit to the fans who've remained.
And now it's time for the TISO Award for the most valuable player of the championship.
Пришло время наградить самого ценного игрока первенства мира по баскетболу среди девушек до 19 лет.
The most valuable player is Asia Wilson.
Asia Wilson, no surprise there. Mick, did the selectors get the 5 just about right?
Yes, no doubt about it. I think Kolosovskaya was a very good adding after a performance today, but Asia Wilson MVP, Vadieva definitely. Smith may be a surprise, but there's no out-and-out point guard out there, 2 guard, and maybe I'm just picking bones at it, but congratulations to all 5, and especially to Asia Wilson.
To walk back to their position on podium.
Мы продолжаем церемонию награждения и просим подняться всех на подиум.
It's now time to present the medals.
TISO watch. Now for the medal presentation.
The bronze medalist is the team of Australia. I invite the team to please step on the podium.
So Australia, bronze medalists step onto the platform to receive their bronze.
The bronze medals are presented by Miss Yulia Anikeva, Russian Basketball Federation
Yulia
President.
Anikeva, the Russian Basketball Federation President, will come out to present the award to the Australians.
Minister of Sports of Moscow region.
Mr. Roman Proskov, the Minister for Sports from Moscow, will help with the presentation.
Министр физической культуры и спорта Московской области.
For Australia, it is their 3rd bronze medal. They won it last year.
Please give a round of
Klaipėda,
applause to the
Lithuania.
players of the team of
They won it
Australia.
honored back in 1989 when these championships were held in Bilbao, Spain. They beat Czechoslovakia for the bronze in that year. A long journey home for the Australians. Have been on the road now for close to a month.
Talia Tupea, number 4. Mikhaila Pirini, number 6. Alexander Sharp, number 7.
Well, Sharp with a terrific, Alex Sharp had a terrific bronze medal game today.
Number 9.
Yeah, outstanding. Alex Sharp was just inspirational. I thought she had an inspiration moments yesterday against the USA, but it definitely carried over to today. And the Australian team in general, I think, shook off that loss far better than the Spanish girls, who came out in a storm and just held on and held on.
All smiles for Coach Paul Goodis. So our congratulations to the Australians. What a great sporting tradition they have. And they raise their arms.
Друзья, давайте еще раз поздравим наших бронзовых призеров Австралия.
Basketball Australia Center of Excellence. Turns out a lot of young talented players. Remember to that team? Now the silver medalists.
Under 19 Women's World Championship is the team of the Russian Federation. Please step on the podium.
Второе место в первенстве мира по баскетболу среди девушек до 19 лет
As you look at the Russian girls who will claim silver, there is Ksenia Novchenko.
The silver medals are presented by Yulia Anikeva, the president of the Russian Basketball Federation. Yuri Nagorny.
Yulia Anikeva called upon again, the president of the Russian Basketball Federation, to present the silver medals.
Российской Федерации баскетбола. Юрий Нагорный, заместитель министра спорта Российской Федерации.
Please give a round of applause to the team of the Russian Federation. Darya Kolosovskaya, number 7.
The Russians now bow their heads to receive this silver. Mick, they are without doubt the team that stretched the Americans the most. And, you know, they were leading at one stage by 8 points in this game, and the Americans showed character and came back.
What a turnaround. That was an important time out there for head coach Dawn Staley of the United States. 29-21, I think the score was. And in the blink of an eye, she had them out of there and chomping at the bit. 6 points in a row. And John Choff down the other end had to call timeout. And from then on in, I didn't think there was really... I think from then that had the United States focused and ready to play ball. And I think that was just a matter of time for them, how long and how quickly they would get the game by the strap of the neck.
There's a look at the Russian crowd here, getting behind their team. They've added to the packaging of this event. It's been a great spectacle, a great advertisement for underage basketball around the world. The teams qualify to get here by competing in their zonal championships. The Russians will add a silver medal at the Worlds, too. Gold medal they won last summer at the European Championships.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, your biggest applause for the winners of the 2015 FIBA Under-19 Women's World Championship, the United States of America.
And here are the champions, the Americans, who claim their 6th consecutive gold medal. It's a team that is comprised of 5 players who have never represented the USA before at any age group. Ortiz, Pat Burke, Stevens, White, and Destiny Slocum. Well, Mick, I think they're going to take a claim to be selected again, some of those young ladies.
Yeah, but solid additions as they move forward. I'm not sure how many are around in 2 years' time. I don't think any of them are around in 2 years' time. So they won't be at this level, but yeah, I think Aja Wilson, definitely senior player. Although that senior team is getting well stacked as that WNBA is getting stronger. The amount of pros playing around the world, US girls, US-based players playing around the world is playing professionally is astounding, really.
Maybe just a quick word on, where do the players go from here? So they leave this age category, they're in college. What other opportunities do they have to play internationally?
Not many. I think there's a lot, just like the men's players that leave college. It's like they get the little jobs offered here, there, and everywhere, and the more that basketball expands, it's expanding to all corners of the earth as far as professionalism. There's jobs out there for a lot of players if you want to stick to it and put your mind to it.
Staley,
Your close our champion,
who
the
received the
United States of
medal. And
America.
our congratulations and commendations to Coach Staley for leading her team to another gold medal.
Oh, outstanding, outstanding. I mean, it's sometimes you come to a tournament and of course you want the gold medals, but you want to be pushed and challenged too. And they definitely got their challenge in the final.
USA will turn to the crowd and get the photographs taken. Of course, some of these players may play at the World University Games, which were earlier this summer. Another avenue for them to continue to represent their country. But we're going to pause and rise to our feet and honor the Star-Spangled Banner.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, FIBA President will present the trophy of the FIBA Under-19 Women's World Championship to the United States of America.
Mr. Moratori, president of FIBA, will now present the trophy to the American team. We're going to go back to Colorado Springs, where the American USA basketball is based. Probably going to be passed around from hotel room to hotel room tonight.
Trophy cabinet needs enlarging, I think. They'll go home with the under-19 boys, the under-19 girls, the World University Games, men and women.
Ladies and gentlemen, our champions, the team of the USA.
There's Asia Wilson pausing for the photograph. Mr. Moratori on the right. Wilson can't wait to share it with her teammates. And then the requisite confetti. Just make a thank you to the Russian Federation for organizing a wonderful tournament, to the community of Vidnoy and Chekhov for the host cities for this event. Always well run and a pleasure to be a part of. The girls will have to get one more photo taken behind the champion's sign.
Step down from the podium for the photo session. All the three teams, please.
That's a photograph that the Americans will relish for a long, long time to come. They'll go back, get a couple of weeks off, and they'll be back in university in August, back with their teams, back in their high schools, back with their teams.
Thank you to all the teams.
Well, plenty more basketball to come throughout the summer. Asia basket, Afro basket, Euro basket, the Americas tournament, the senior levels, all of this to come on livebasketball.tv. You're a basketball fanatic, you can follow these events. Support staff now. Quite rightly pausing for the photograph with the team. And there it is, your 2015 Under-19 World Champions, Team USA. They claim a 6th consecutive gold medal. This event will resume in 2 years' time. And for me, Liam Canny, and my colleague Mick Bett, it is goodbye for the time being. Remember, there's plenty more basketball to come as we go throughout the course of the summer.